Indeed. I love you. Another Saturday, another Go Live. Thank you so much for joining us for what will be a dang show. Thank you so much for joining Go Live, the show brought to you by GameOnDaily.com, the show where we talk the latest and greatest in gaming with nuanced chat, these incredible guests, some of the best content creators out there, and we pick their brains and we just have a very good time, and I hope you do too. Thank you so much for joining us. Before we introduce the guests, I have to introduce the man who's got an upgrade to his setup. You can see in the background my partner in crime, Asa, co-host, co-founder, co-sourceinator. How you doing, man?
I am losing track of what's real now. I've been in and out of virtual worlds. I'm a little on edge. I might attack any slight movement. But apart from that, I'm good. No, I've been keeping track. I'm in the real world. I know what's going on this week. Let's have a good show with Colt and Kibaji. It's going to be a nice one. So on we go. Yeah,
absolutely. It's going to be a great one. And we have to touch upon your antics in the VR space. I've never, ever seen you so happy in my life, and I've known you for about 5 years. That's insane. But we're going to touch on your foray into the next gen of gaming in the future. But before we do that, we have to introduce our incredible guests, returning guests. These are more friends than guests, but these are the best kind of shows when you have your friends on the show. Coming back to the show is the man wearing red, representing the Crips, ladies and gentlemen. Is it Crips red or Bloods? No, one blood. The Bloods.
Yes!
Samurai Kibaji. Sorry, this is a UK thing. We don't know the Crips and Bloods that well. But it's Samurai Kibaji representing the Bloods. What's up, man? How you doing?
I cannot confirm nor deny what was just said. Hello, everybody. It's good to be back. Super excited to talk with literally all three of these guys. So happy to be back.
Yeah, thank you for coming on. It's gonna be a great show. Last but certainly not least, he is now the permanent panel member of the show. You might as well be, man. The best shows are when you are here. It's one of the most prominent influencers in the space, the man who always tries to be nice, and he actually is nice, which is kind of annoying. Sometimes I want to get him to the dark side. Even his swear words are like not even swear gestures. Ladies and gentlemen, it's Colt Eastwood. How you doing, man?
I'm doing really good. Thanks for having me on. This is my second guest appearance, so it's good to be on with friends on these podcasts because, yeah, it was good. I was on Dealer's show earlier in the week, so it's good to be with friends and talk and talk and talk.
It is, exactly. Especially after the bummer that there is no E3, and it's kind of really, I know me and you are really down about it, but we'll figure something out. Just rip off your shirt, just do it.
Yeah, I know people got a little dicey about that discussion, but really what it came down to is I really hope things be better so we could get together and celebrate and meet like I wanted everybody to meet, but it's just still not right. Thought by now it'd be out of the woods.
I thought so too. I was almost convinced. I was like, there's no way. E3 has to happen. And I just don't...
Honestly, this whole thing has gone like, it's really bad. Oh, it's getting really good. And then it gets really bad. It's been like that for just 2 years.
The South Park special, just watch it. It's going to last 40 years. I promise you.
Yeah, don't say that. I mean, it is getting, like, everyone is getting it. I had it last week, so please be safe out there. If you're not vaccinated, you should be or you shouldn't be. It's up to you, but just stay safe out there. It is getting a bit... It's spreading, but luckily Omicron isn't that strong, apparently. It wasn't that bad for me at all. It was barely a cold, but... yeah, just be careful. But hopefully we can do something. Hopefully this is the year that we kind of start to adjust and go back to normality. But let's see. Let's keep it positive, though. This is the gaming show where we talk about gaming. Mostly positive, but it's a reflection of the news in the space. And the news isn't without its fair share of controversy. Colt. So the big topic this week, and it's been dominating the space. Some people have been like messaging me and you, Colt, as well. There's a guy called some silly sausage or something. He's been chasing us on this. This has been doing the rounds, and the next source video may or may not be about this topic. It's about the fact that PlayStation. Oh, PlayStation. I love you this generation. PlayStation is now, and this is reported by one of our best friends, Jason Schreier. He loves me so much, and I love him back. He reported on this. I think multiple people did, but Bloomberg, as they do, they always beat everyone to the punch with this news. They were kind of reporting that PlayStation are making more PlayStation 4 consoles to compensate for the PlayStation 5 shortage. Now, as you can imagine, with all the spiel that Sony was giving at the start of the generation about believing in generations and about there being a clear dividing line and really gearing their marketing that way, to a lot of people, this was a slap in the face on PlayStation yet again. And I have some strong views on it, but they're a mixture of a whole different set of views. This is about the guests. Let me ask you, Colt. You tell me first, sir. What is your take on this whole thing? PlayStation's making more PS4s to compensate for the PS5. Does it make sense? Is it a good strategy? What's going on? What's your take on it?
Well, I have to thank the social media space, because I learn a lot when you jump into a discussion and people either correct or teach you things. One of the things I learned is that PlayStation only plans to build 1 million more PS4s, which is nothing. Those could be sold out in retail stores in like 1 or 2 months. So they still continue to build their old console for a couple years into the generation. So this isn't a new concept for PlayStation. And Xbox as well has continued to build 360s as the Xbox One was going on. So this is kind of different, where Xbox stopped building the Xbox One, One S, all digital, and One X consoles in mid 2020. So my first reaction, guys, was, and this is where I have to turn to Asa. My first reaction is like, why isn't PlayStation focusing all their efforts into punching out a couple of more PS5s than to punch out some supplementary PS4s? And I want Asa to take this part, and it has to do with the silicon dies and the APUs that they build, how they're totally separate. Asa, do you know a lot about this?
I will say that if they could make any more PlayStation 5s, if they could squeeze any harder on that, they absolutely would. So that is not an option for them. The PS4 is on the side, like we can still crank out some of those, and it isn't going to affect the workload of us still trying to get PS5s to market. Absolutely that. And it's also, I took business studies at school, so I know these things, right? If you are a company and you're making a product and you're selling it for more money than it costs, then you can call that profit. So the main reason that Sony are making PlayStation 4s is that they can sell them and make profit, which is what they exist to do. It's not taken away from anything that they can do with the PlayStation 5. It's literally, there's demand for PlayStation, there's demand for PlayStation 4. It gets a bit more nuanced. If they could make PlayStation 5s and they could try and satisfy that demand with their new generation, that would be in their best interest. But they simply can't hit that demand. Colt's got a hand up. Good.
Yeah.
Raising hands.
I love it. I love to do that once in a while. I'll add to that. I had Forte on my podcast a couple weeks ago, and he works a GameStop where shout out, he's amazing. And he explained that the old consoles, the Xbox One X and the PS4s, like they hold a lot of value in retail because there's demand. So GameStop wants your old PS4, and they'll turn around, clean it up, and put it on the shelf because it sells. So Asa makes a really good point that if they can crank out a PS4, which has a higher profit margin than it used to for them now because they're a lot cheaper to make, that they can make a bunch of money. And if you think about, if you own a store, like if you run a Walmart and they bring in a couple of PS4s, they're not going to stay on the shelf very long, even if they're not a PS5. Am I right?
You are right. And I will reach out to Tony before I lay the smackdown. But Tony, you know where I'm going to go with this, but preempt that. What's your take on this?
I don't know. Do we
want you, particularly in light of Sony's messaging before this generation? Don't you think it's embarrassing? It's embarrassing, isn't it? They believed in generations. That was a lie, wasn't it? It was a lie. Say it's a lie. Say it. Say it. It's a lie. It's a lie. Lies.
Dude, I'm sorry. I'm with Asa on this one because like it's a business. If you want to make money and it still sells, then you're gonna still keep selling PS4s. Like, that's at least my perspective on it. But and the reason they're not able to keep making these PS5s is because they don't have the parts for them, and those parts aren't in PS4. So if they can keep making money, then why not? I do think it's an interesting note, though, that really has to sort of transition to probably your hot take, Gaz, is I do love the kind of X that has happened, the switch, if you will, where Xbox started off this whole thing like, no, we're not abandoning Xbox Ones for the next 2 years, and PlayStation's just like, oh no, we're going full blazing on to the future. And it's really started to just kind of change to become opposites with that, because Xbox, wasn't it this week they announced that they were no longer, because Cole, you just
the
said
media
2020
did. The media did. Xbox said this like a year ago or longer.
Exactly. And the media seem to be very quick to now make this point. Hey, by the way, Xbox is also like, well, no, hold on a minute. So I want to throw some shade out there. So not shade,
of course,
not shade. No,
of course.
There were some takes on there, some hot takes. I want to TTS, as Dirt says in his crew, talk that shizzle. Basically, look. I get it. Asa took business studies. I took business studies too. I know how profits work and all that. But all I'm hearing is bloody excuses, because ultimately you have to take on board the messaging. The main point about this is no one is saying, oh, well, Sony's not allowed to make money. Oh, this doesn't make any fiscal sense. It's the point that Sony went out of its way to make such a point about believing in generations, like it always does this. It was so quick to do that last gen with Shoei Yoshida, this is how you share games, and this was an extension of them trying to do that. They stayed mum. You have to remember, this is to the point of not even defiance, it's deception. When Jim Ryan and Sony do not even tell you their games are coming or they are cross-gen until the last minute that they tell you do that, because they were skirting this line of we don't believe in generations. So John Linneman was saying, and I'm quoting, and John, I hope one day you can come on here, but I take issue with what you say. You said, honestly, I feel that those making a big deal about this must be new to games or following the industry. They simply don't have any concept of how things have been done in the past. Really, John, if you believe that, explain that to me. Explain to me why Sony in the last minute announced that Spider-Man Miles Morales was cross-gen, even though they knew. When Jim Ryan made that statement about believing generations, he knew. This is just a symptom of that. So I want to go at Sony to say, ha, there it is, because you keep repeatedly, you said it with your chest multiple times that you believed in generation, thinking this was in the short term an advantage over your competition. And look how you got backhanded. And it wasn't just Sony who was going ahead, it was their fan base who was literally and actually, I believe, I have said this before, I was a proponent of, I hate cross-gen. I know it makes sense, I know it makes business sense, no one has enough silicon, all that stuff. I hate cross-gen. So I was in Sony's camp. I said this on the shows. I am with Sony when they say we believe in generations. Little did I know that they were lying. So the fan base ran with it, and part of that was the Series S. So the Series S got raked through the coals as well by holding gens back, holding this gen back. The Series S has now turned into a masterclass now, because the Series S has been selling like mad. It requires less CUs to be produced. So it's such a genius.
It's doing most things that the other consoles are doing for much cheaper. There's two parts of this, Gaz, that you brought up. One part is we believe in generations, and how PlayStation quietly stays with this concept that we're only going to give you the next generation experience. Only on PlayStation, and then they say, well, Miles Morales is coming to PS4 in the very last minute, and then they're doing the same thing with PC games, okay? And hopefully I can remember what the second point is. I think I do. So the other thing they're doing is, like with the PC games, I think what Sony wants to do is they want to say, look, you can you can only play this on a PlayStation. And then once that fizzles out for just a few months or a year or two, then they say we bring it to PC. And I think PlayStation and Sony know we can sell the games to the console gamer, and the PC person knows, oh, I'll have to just wait. And then they bring it on PC and they know that they're going to sell it twice, instead of Xbox saying, here's the game. PC gamers buy it, Xbox gamers buy it all the same day. We fill up the lobbies with tons of players, and PlayStation doesn't have that luxury of having really heavily multiplayer focused games. Now, the other point that we have to talk about, and this is another thing where I'll go to Tony to help me out on this one, but everyone says that they believe in generations and they're building these PS4s, but we don't have any definitive proof or any arrow pointing to that games in the next year or two where developers are going to have to say, oh, crud, they're going to have to rely on the PS4. So maybe this PS5 only exclusive is going to have to be built with a PS4 version in mind. We don't have anything that tells us that they're doing this generational, nasty, backhanded thing. So, Tony, what do you think? Like, have you looked into this where people are like, oh, they're building more PS4s. That means they're going to support the PS4 for exclusive games all generation long.
Yeah, as you guys were talking about that was kind of the thing that was on my mind, is if they're, and 1 million, it's maybe, who knows, maybe this is their last push. Probably not.
I think it was 1 million more, right, Tony? Like they're continuing to make it, and they're going to ramp up an extra million, right?
Oh, well, probably.
Maybe.
But
Go ahead.
You're right. Like, that's one side of this I could totally see, is like Gaz is saying, he's not into the cross-generational stuff. And if you're not into that, hearing this news, that definitely can tell you that the intent is to potentially make more cross-gen games. And there'll be some mixed in. You got your Demon Souls, you got your Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart. They'll mix some in, but it's gonna be.
All the games are cross-gen. All the big games this year are cross-gen. So
Demon Souls,
biggest,
Ratchet and Clank.
No, he's talking right now. Horizon Forbidden West, God of War, Ragnarok, Gran Turismo 7.
Yeah. And so I hope they have a plan of like the first 2 years will sprinkle some like PS5 exclusive stuff. But you're right. This plan tells us that they have a lot of market on PS4. They don't want to leave it behind. And because of that, who knows how much that actually holds back games. But if you're not into cross-gen, I could see, this news is a little bit kind of
I mean, it's more like Asa, you said, if they could, they would literally push the PlayStation 5s out the gate as best they possible.
Right.
And that's obvious. It's a lot from the marketing standpoint of them doing that. It's such a slap in the face. Because Xbox games are next gen only.
Let me say more. Because I want to, on this rare occasion,
say more.
I want to validate some of the things that you actually said. So the stuff around...
On rare occasion.
The stuff around cross-gen games that they've already done, though, the stuff that they did with Gran Turismo 7 being next-gen only, Horizon and Spider-Man, they dropped that terribly badly. I don't particularly mix this up with the PlayStation 4 thing because they've not done this as a big marketing push, right? This is just a press statement in the background somewhere. And it's definitely not targeted at the people that are following the news that closely. Like, they're not interested in the PlayStation 4 anyway. But it is fair to question what it means for their strategy with games going forwards. It is fair to question what it means with Spartacus going forwards, because historically, the biggest weakness of PlayStation Now is that it's completely ignored the PlayStation. But I say historically, obviously this has only been for a year, but PlayStation Now is so far behind Game Pass, not just because of the day one games thing. You can forgive the day one games thing, or I can personally, but they just completely neglect the PlayStation 5. So seeing that PlayStation 4 is obviously still going to be at the forefront of their attention when they're looking at how to monetize their audience. They've got 110 million, whatever it is, currently supported PlayStation 4 owners. So we'll see what Spartacus is and how much they care about PlayStation 5 there. But mostly, I just wanted to clear up that much as the PlayStation 4 makes sense, yes, Sony have done some very questionable things with the way that they've delivered that messaging since the inception of the PlayStation 5. Yes, the Xbox Series X is fantastic as a baseline for games relative to the PlayStation 4 or the Xbox One. So Colt was saying that. There's always been questions. Is the Series S going to hold back next gen? No, the Series S has a fantastic processor. It has fast storage. It's got everything it needs to be a great baseline for games. And it's much, much harder to say that about the PlayStation 4. So that was all. I'm not being contrarian with you. There's things that I agree with, things that are shady.
Yeah, it's always I always even if Asa agrees a little bit with me, I feel happy. He's intelligent and I'm not.
It makes you feel a little more intelligent, for sure. I know how you feel.
It validates my existence a little.
I was gonna say validate. Yeah.
Well, see, Asa's okay, but before I get giddy with Asa's approval, I will read these super chats. Hoggy Channy, I was playing It Takes Two with him. He goes, guys, it's Hakeem here. We need to do more collaboration. We were doing impressions of, I think it was Joseph Farris who voices the book in that, doesn't he? Yeah. Great game. We were having so much fun. Such a good game. The Dodge Knight with an £18 super chat. Very generous of you. Don't need to do that, mate. He was gonna have to bounce at A&E. Oh, okay. I hope everything's okay. Shame as a sexy sausage fest this week. Thanks for that. Have a great... I just did not read that with any foresight. Have a great show. Oh, and Ember is shit. Hashtag PlayStation Live. Isn't Ember a game he played with you, Asa?
Yeah, unfortunately it is. If you're sitting here thinking, oh, Ember looks interesting on Game Pass, walk away.
Yeah.
Walk away. Yeah, walk away from Anacrusis as well, my friends, please.
That. You weren't feeling that. Neither was Miles.
No, the aiming just feels really bad. The shooting's not satisfactory. It's not enjoyable. It's just too bad. It's in preview. Why put it in Game Pass? And why? Yeah. Well, move on. I am always like, if you don't like a game, just say your piece and move on. You don't need to make 14 tweet threads about how you don't like a game.
Why you hate the story. Yeah.
Or make a whole video series. But I uninstalled it after one match, and there's 4-player co-op. 2 of the people went away from their controller to eat some potato chips or something. So yeah, it was oh well. The next game.
Yeah, exactly. So this is the thing with this so saturated now, and a game like this looks promising, but it's not going to hold your attention, is it, Tony?
It's got a neat art style that the characters look. I mean, we have it on screen right now, so I'll just say they're colonists that have been turned into aliens, and it's got some cool, like, funky music. It's got like a 60s/70s vibe going, but not much other charm than that. And now it just doesn't feels kind of slippery on the controls. And give it a shot. I mean, it's one of those things like it'll download pretty quickly, and then you'll undownload it.
Have you tried it, Tony? Have you tried Anacrusis? Are you going to try it now?
I totally forgot that was a thing. I was interested in it, but not like more than other things that I would prioritize it for. I played the Gunk. That's what I was up to. That's another kind of like it's passable kind of a thing. I wouldn't recommend it over other stuff, though.
Yeah, a lot of people. Someone else was saying that the Xbox Obi was in party chat. He was playing that, and that's the kind of game like me and you were saying, Colt. I haven't played it yet, but it's like in party chat game, isn't it? You just chill.
Yeah.
Dealer Zocker and I were all. I think Fonz as well. We were all playing it in party chat because you don't have to hear a lot of what's going on most of the time. It was actually a kind of an enjoyable game, but they could do a lot more with it. But I'm glad I played it. That's all I can say.
Yeah,
if that means anything.
Same. Yep.
Yeah.
It's quick too. It's like 6 to 10
5 hours,
something like that.
Yeah.
I like that. I might try it.
Hey, Gaz.
Threw me off completely. Oh man, I'm gonna clip that. Augie Channy, thank you so much for the $5 super chat. Do you think Spider-Man 2 will end up being on PlayStation 5 and PC? Will they pull the same thing and make it cross-gen, third-party cross-gen through to 2024? So now Augie mentioned something, and this has been doing the rounds as again in the news, and apparently, so God of War's director has said that PlayStation devs had to actually badger Sony to get the game to happen. They put pressure. They were like, look, so this is his direct quote. I'm not making it up. He said, I think it was the collective of studios all over saying this is a really good idea. We should be looking into this. Eventually, I think it reached that tipping point when we had sent so many suggestions. They were like, I'm tired of hearing all this. Fine. we'll do this. So Sony's strategy obviously is to make more money. It's why they done it. But it's interesting to see that they did that tentatively. And God of War's dev also pissed some PlayStation guys off, saying it's awesome that people can now play the iconic God of War with an Xbox controller. Yeah,
Right.
Sauce.
Right.
I love that source. But Spider-Man 2 is the question that Huggy was thinking. Do you think it will be PS5 and PC only? At launch. And will they make it cross-gen? What do you think, Tony?
Yeah, well, first off, I believe they have confirmed this is a PS5 exclusive, at the least. They're not going cross-gen with it. It's not going to be on PS4, which seems to be a trend with Insomniac so far, between Rift Apart and now this. I don't know. It's supposed to come out 2023. They're starting to warm up the idea of PC. I don't think by then they will be willing to launch PlayStation games day one on PC. Yeah. Maybe like a year later type of a deal, but I don't imagine they're gonna do day one PC launches like till 2024, 2025, something like that.
Yeah, but there's a lot of mounting pressure. Even today, you had a lot of people say, look, because God of War actually runs incredibly well on PC. Asa, you should do a tech analysis on that. But apparently it's lovely. That a lot of people are saying, you know what, just do a day and date, because it's just a little bit silly. So we had people from you had Paris Lily saying it, although he's been saying it for quite some time. You've had a lot of other people say it. I forget their names now, but I think Tom Warren was the chap. So there is this thing where the PlayStation seeing, like, there's a lot of negativity. It's very similar to last gen where it was Xbox. Now it's PlayStation in the firing line, which is interesting because you see a lot of PlayStation content creators latch onto the Xbox side. Get out of here. Anyway, Gerald Mack, thank you so much for the $2 super chat. He goes, Sony believes in last gen for sure. Lol. Hashtag PS4 hold back. Gerald Mack getting saucy there. Very saucy. But yeah, thank you so much. Oh, actually, I skipped loads of super chats. Apologies. Just my mouse did that. No, I didn't. Oh, here we go. Danny Snowing. Hey, Danny, I hope you're doing well. Thank you so much for the €5 super chat. Cross-gen isn't holding anything back the way Xbox does it with game streaming on old gen. Sony, on the other hand, and he does this thinking emoji. Asa, do you want to tackle this point about cross-gen holding? He's saying he's giving Xbox props for game streaming being a boon for Xbox not holding games back, whereas Sony's strategy might actually hold games back. What do you think about that?
Yeah, you don't need me to take this one. I've been saying for a long time, yes, cross-gen development does hold back this gen, and you can give me the shiniest, best examples of a cross-gen game that you can find, like Forza Horizon 5, and you can try and convince me that nothing is held back, and I will disagree strongly. Much as that's a fantastic game and massively impressive, wait until you see Forza Horizon 6 that's not held back. So yes, the fact that you can... It's easier for Microsoft to sever the tie with the previous generation, because they're not leaving the previous generation behind entirely because of the streaming service that they've got.
Yeah.
It just
That's
is.
true.
And Axel, I agree with you. I love their approach more. That's how it was. You've always said this here on this show, to be fair. Blue Boy Vast, thanks for the £5 super chat. He goes, I don't envy Sony. They screwed themselves with the marketing, but I don't think anyone, especially Microsoft, expected next gen to be in such high demand. I think you're right. I think he's right there, right, Colt, because I think it's COVID as well. That was the big one that gave a tetanus shot to gaming because people are stuck at home. So
the old consoles sold out in retail before we were even ready to see the new ones hit shelves. So yeah, I remember that. You couldn't find an Xbox One or a PS4 at Walmart or Target. They were just gone. Everyone went and bought one because their kids were stuck at home and they were sick of looking at their faces.
Exactly. And that's been
so, and this ties into what Phil Spencer said in his interview a few days ago, where he said that their supply for the Xbox Series S and X are actually doing really well. And I think that's partially because PlayStation has run into a bit of a yield problem with their chips, where maybe, I don't know, they have higher production, but maybe, I don't know, they're not getting as many out to their demand. But Phil said that they are getting a great amount out to retail, and I'm paraphrasing him, but they can't meet demand. For the demand, the crazy thing is the demand for the Xbox Series S and X are so high, even though all of those games are available on a Beast PC or your mom's laptop. It's pretty crazy. And people said for a long time, like, you don't need an Xbox. That's never been more untrue. People are clamoring to get one. We're seeing
fair, though,
we're even seeing people.
It is still true, though, right? And I don't say that as a negative. Like I've long maintained, you don't need an Xbox. It is not a negative for anybody, not for Xbox and not for us. It's a positive thing. It is true. Like if you have a ridiculous PC hooked up to your TV in your living room, sure, it can do everything that the Xbox can, apart from quick resume, which is a thing, right?
Here's the weird thing, and I see this a lot because I totally agree with you, Asa. Like, you don't need anything. You don't need a PC. You don't need a Xbox. But as far as you're saying, like, since all the games are on PC, you don't need an Xbox. Absolutely. And that's been true 100% for like 5 years since Quantum Break. Like, all the big new exclusives went to PC day and date. But the funny thing is, you're looking at the type of gamer who doesn't want to throw away their console library. Like for an Xbox One or Xbox Series fan to say, you know what, I'm just going to PC, they have to leave all those purchases behind and rebuy the games they want to hold on to, or just start fresh new with PC. And I see that argument all the time where someone's like, you don't need an Xbox. I'm like someone said to me today, Asa, they said if PlayStation puts their games on PC day and date, they'll sell far less consoles, or not. Far less consoles. And I'm like, far less? Like, it's the opposite. There will be some they won't sell, but they'll still sell the majority to a massive console fan base. Like, people aren't just going to stop, drop, and roll and go for a PC in force. You know, like they pretend like if Sony
in the chat,
dealer, if Sony said tomorrow that day and date on PC, we can't wait to expand our studios to the world, right?
Yeah.
It's people aren't going to go sell you're not going to get, 12 to 15 million people selling their PS5s and getting on and buying pre-builts and going to PC Part Picker and building a PC or whatever. That's just not how it works.
Yeah.
I think in the Middle East, you would see, I know a lot of people in the Middle East who are PC gamers and PlayStation gamers because they're like the PlayStation bangers. I think they would not bother with a PlayStation. I think it would hurt their sales in areas like the Middle East.
I think elsewhere as well. I do think it would hurt Sony's PlayStation sales, and I do think they're a different company with a different outlook to Microsoft at the moment. So, I mean,
but
somewhere along the lines they'll have that paradigm
anything.
shift.
People will want an Xbox. People want an Xbox, and that's a good thing. And that's the point. You can never discount the plug-and-play nature of console box. It'll just always be a thing with PC gaming.
Yeah, and that's why I say when I'm saying you don't need it, I'm not saying it as a negative in the slightest. It's good that you're not held to ransom, that you don't have to pay to get access to these games. You've got that choice. If you want a box by your TV, if you want more options, it's a great on-ramp into the Xbox ecosystem. But they're not holding you to ransom saying you have to have this piece of hardware to play this particular game, and that's great for everyone. So,
but if PlayStation did day and date on PC, I believe they would still sell out of every PS5 as soon as they hit the retail.
Well, now, so let me get a super chat.
Yeah.
Let me get this super chat from Dean Brown. I might have missed some in the meantime, guys, so do keep an eye on it. But Dean Brown sent a super chat saying he cannot envisage a time when Sony does day and date releases on PC. They're more invested in selling hardware, and exclusives are the key. And I would just add to that and say Sony aren't selling hardware for the sake of selling hardware. It's not about profit margin on the PlayStation 5 box. They're selling hardware for the sake of putting up those walls around the ecosystem, and that is still important to Sony, and that's where Microsoft are different, because they're all about accessibility and bringing things to everyone. Sony still want that wall so that their fans that want to play Call of Duty and FIFA still have to give Sony 30% of all that money. Fans that want to play Fortnite still have to give Sony 30% of all of that money. That's massively important to what Sony do. That's the traditional console model. So
Wow, they do have, PlayStation does have like an era of when you're in PlayStation, you're in the country club, like you're part of the elite group. You're here. We have exclusive expansions on some of the biggest shooters like Destiny and Call of Duty. So like when you're here, you're family.
Yeah, they do give
The Olive Garden of gaming.
Yeah.
Tony was gonna say something.
Well, I wasn't on the show last week. I'm pretty sure you guys talked about the Ubisoft thing, but I thought that was really interesting because a lot of folks were throwing that at me, saying like they want to keep selling their games in their marketplace and not have a membership that potentially takes away from that, and that's why I might have only came to Xbox. And that I'm not necessarily buying that, but I'm like, maybe that makes sense, and maybe that's why there's just this thing about inclusivity that's they're not writing as much as a lot of other. Yeah,
so that's a great point about inclusivity versus that walled garden exclusive club thing that Colt is talking about. It seemed to have worked a lot last gen. I was always a proponent for it, but it seems like in light of comparatively Xbox's very generous model, it just makes PlayStation look bad. Even today, you go on social media, people are saying just do it day and date. When you get God of War and it looks that good, just do it. Why are you not doing it? People are getting frustrated, but there are arguments both sides. Shout out to 250 people watching. You're enjoying the chat. Please smash the like button. We've still got a lot of topics to talk about. Blue Boy Vast, thank you so much for the £5 super chat. He goes, I don't envy Sony. They screwed themselves with the marketing, but I don't think anyone oh no, I've already read that. Clearly I'm in Memento. Don't believe Sammy Jenkins. No, that's not what he said. Blue Boy Vast, thank you so much for the £5 super chat. Because PlayStation and Series X, Xbox Series are made on the same 7 nanometer process that yielded well in November 2019, a year before launch. Microsoft may have outbid Sony for wafer allocation. I don't know if we have that information to hand, but wafers taste good with tea, so that's all I can tell you about wafers. Thank you so much, Doc CMF. Everyone hit the like button, give thanks to Ascent Guest, and wish Gaz a happy birthday. Ladies and gentlemen, it's not my birthday.
I know, I was going to ask that.
Happy birthday, Gaz.
So many DMs last week when the super chat, even Gaming Forte, shout out to Gaming Forte. He says, hey, happy birthday, bro. And it's so nice. I'm like, I'm nice, but Doc CMS is a piece of so I don't have a birthday. Just... it's a thing now. Every day is my birthday.
But happy birthday, though, regardless.
Have a birthday.
Why did you call him a pizza?
Thanks for that.
Gaz doesn't have a birthday. He was hatched.
I was hatched.
He was born throughout the year, piece by piece.
Yeah, it's just kind of
compiled with various ingredients of sauce. So, like we talked about, like PlayStation, that is just so they're getting under fire. It seems like they can't do no wrong. Even in the core gaming space, it seems like they're just not riding it as comfortably, even if it's just a PR thing. But let's see. There are some serious questions though about how long we'll see cross-gen stuff happening. Xbox, their games, all their future games, as far as I'm aware, their exclusives are not cross-gen. It's PlayStation's cross-gen. GT7, Horizon, God of War, all these big games are cross-gen. And it's kind of funny how things turned out, eh? And the Source video. Stalker 2 was now. So bad news for Xbox fans. Stalker 2 is a game that me, you, I guess all of us were looking forward to. And... yeah, Tony, you're shaking your head. You're saying, yeah. And now you've got a massive delay. This was supposed to be February, I think. And now it's December, I think.
April. It was going to come out in April.
And December. Is this a hit for Xbox? Because, again, we have a situation, I think, where Xbox has a pretty quiet first half. And then... it blows its shlangs in the latter half of the year. What do you think, Tony, about this?
You bring up a good point about the gap. I didn't think about that. On a personal level, really quick, I did like 10 most anticipated games of the year. Stalker 2 was like in my top 5. I was really excited to play that. I live in a world now where I used to hate delays, but now I'm like, there's just so much to play that I'm like, great, give me some time to hit my backlog. But I was really looking forward to that game, still am, and it's gonna be better for it, so that's fine. And it is gonna be to our previous conversation, is the next gen exclusive. That's the other reason I'm stoked to see it. And you know, you got me thinking about that. What else is coming out in that April through June area? Because previously,
exclusive front,
yeah, because for me, I'm fine with it because I'll be playing Tunic. That's March for Xbox, but also the new Kirby game. Gaz, I care. The new Kirby game looks like a lot of fun. Shout out to Kirby, had an awesome trail this week. But both those come out in March, and I get all the time in the world now to play them because I won't be trying to finish them before Stalker 2. But I'm fine with this. I am a little bit surprised it's 6 months. I thought it would be like a 3-monther, but 6 months is pretty big.
Yeah.
I'm curious what you guys think about that.
We've had guests on, we've had devs on who have said, I think it was Joe Winter, it might be him or I don't know who it was.
Joe Winter, yeah.
He said, was it Joe? Yeah, he said, and he made a good point about these little delays. So I'm kind of glad if it's a longer delay, then perhaps they can do a lot more other than try and rush and try and push something through. But Colt, you're the Xbox guy. You need to make videos, man. And Stalker is not going to feel the guilt. I know the Colt gets so guilty if he doesn't work on it.
I do. It just destroys me. I can't even sleep at night. No, I've that's one of these things that's coming, the Stalker delay, and there's another delay very possible for Xbox that we might talk about later in the show. Yeah, like the worst part of this is like Xbox fans saying, where the heck is our game for Q1? And you know, we have to wait 6 months again for all the bangers. It's like, well, I know why. Like, why do we have to do this? Why do we have to worry about how the competition looks?
Rand has said this. Rand's been on the show, and he said, you know, Xbox need to fix this kind of thing.
Fix what? Like,
I heard that episode. Yep.
Let me damage control a little bit, but like, fix what? They had 2022 lined up. They had all these games lined up. They had a big one in the spring, a big one in the summer, a big one in the fall, and the big one in the winter. And then the Stalker developers say, crap, we need more time. We have to delay it. And Xbox can't go, well, we'll just bring another game in and force them to release 6 months early. Like, I don't know what else they're supposed to do. If you were running Xbox Studios, the only thing you could do, and I'm with the fans, I'm with them when they say this, is like, when they find out that Stalker needs to be delayed, Sarah Bond needs to be out looking for a third-party cut of the check and just grab a big grab a game like Dying Light 2 and just say, what's it going to cost to get this day and date on Game Pass?
And
you can't fix you can't fix an exclusive. You can't like say, can we just go buy out an exclusive and get it in 3 months? That's not going to happen. So Xbox is stuck in a situation where a team says we need a delay, and you can't say, because the old Xbox that we hated, that we didn't like, the Don Matrick era, said, I don't care if you want to delay. We need fiscal year we need fiscal 1 taken care of. Release the game broken, you'll fix it in patches. Now we're in an Xbox where they say you need a delay. Good, make the game better. We can wait. We're used to waiting. Everybody's games get delayed. God of War Ragnarok might not make it in 2022 like they said they would. I think it will. But Sarah Bond should be looking for something big to give to Game Pass, because let's face it, half of the Xbox platform right now is Game Pass. And if you can bring something big like Plague's Tale Requiem, which I cannot remember the date that's coming.
I don't know if they said the date, just 2022.
Yeah, maybe they didn't. So you've got these big games that really do feel like they're an Xbox exclusive or an Xbox deal, right? They feel like they're part of something special you get on the Xbox that you're not getting otherwise. So that's the only fix for that. Stalker got delayed. We can't fix it, but maybe we can write a check and get something in there. In a February game, there's a couple big ones. Just cut the check.
That's a very good point. That's because Game Pass is almost like an exclusive. So you came under fire for, what was it that you said, I think on the show, or you made it in a video, even though it was actually clear in the description, everything. People just are idiots. But
what was it?
something was exclusive. and it
Atomic
wasn't.
Heart. There was another one that I.
You meant
What was it?
Deathloop, and you put that in there.
Yeah, it was Deathloop. Yeah, Deathloop. I explained that it already came out on PlayStation, and now it's coming day and date to Game Pass from a studio that belongs to Xbox. And
Yeah.
people got mad that the title said new exclusives and Game Pass games. Yeah,
but
it's the classic thing where someone looks at the title and they look at the first 4 words and are like, "I am so angry." And
Yeah,
the
be
title,
angry
my
at Jack
titles have like 8
Ryan.
words in them.
His breach is a lot more egregious. But it's the point. That's a great point you made about making sure that you have those third-party deals. And it's not third-party deals in a way that are bad, because I don't like third-party exclusive stuff. But a third-party deal that is good is a Game Pass release, because it doesn't take anything away from the PlayStation guys, but it gives Xbox guys some value. Although arguably you could, Asa, you're grinning there. If I said something silly, what are you?
No,
what are
I
you-
don't want
what
to.
are
No,
you
carry
doing?
on. I don't want to.
Do it. Just do it. Just do it.
No.
Just do
No.
it. If if you want to defecate on my chest, just do it. This isn't a safe space. This is a safe
Yes!
space.
No.
He's not saying anything. But ultimately, like third party, deals like that where you're benefiting a platform, not taking anything away from them, is a good thing. No, I can't see any negatives there. But like you said, money. I guess it all boils down to money, but that's a very good idea. Dying Light 2, perfect. Just like Outriders made a massive deal last year when it was announced on Game Pass.
Yeah.
Huge deal. Dying Light 2
You know what's
Now-
weird
gonna
about
be a
that?
way better game.
The weird
Go ahead,
thing
Cole.
is the weird thing is something like Dying Light 2 could come to Game Pass day and date, because Xbox doesn't announce that until 3 weeks before the game comes out. No, typically, right? Like, remember how long it took to find out about?
Sometimes, yeah. Like
Sometimes they wait like
Quarantine-
last
sorry,
minute.
Not Quarantine, I'm sorry. Extraction, yeah, they announced that within like 3 weeks of it coming out, essentially. But then Back for Blood, they announced that during E3, and that game came out like 4 months later.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
It's a hit or miss. It's, yeah.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, go ahead.
But you guys
go
bring
ahead
up
with what you're saying.
yeah, you guys just this whole topic of like, I guess what I'm curious about to you guys in the chat is, well, you guys are already stating your opinions on, is Game Pass kind of that filler until the main canon episodes, if you get what I mean? Because if you think about it, the back half of the year, you'll in terms of like first party stuff, Redfall, that's coming to Xbox.
Starfield.
Starfield. Forza hasn't been confirmed for this year, but I mean, unless I don't know, but there, we might still get the same thing we got this year, where there was like Psychonauts 2, Microsoft Flight Simulator, Age of Empires 4, Halo, and stuff. But it's
Yeah.
all in the back half of the year. So
Yeah.
is that just the new strategy that Game Pass is kind of the filler as they continue this trend of back half of year?
That's a very
What's
good question.
interesting about
If you-
strategy, though, is they stated, I can't remember at what point last year, but they stated that they were going to have a big game every month for the remainder of the year. And I think we're
Yeah.
all kind of hoping that they do carry on that as best they can.
Yeah.
They do. It just depends on what the majority of people think is a big games. Like what would be the big game that came out in December? Well, I guess that was Halo. What would be the big game for January? That would be Rainbow Six Extraction, maybe.
Yeah. I mean,
I don't remember what else is big. And then February would be, I don't know. They always have something. Maybe the big game is a little older and you've already played it, but there's that definition is still there.
I
But
think that
Like
quote though
Kirby
is
on screen.
I love it.
This is for Tony.
good job. The Kirby trailer was great, everybody. There's co-op and they surprised us. It's the end of March. It's good shit.
And that's all we'll talk about.
Yeah. But I'm happy to dive into that more, but if we're not talking, we're not talking about it. But
we'll talk about it.
but the what was I gonna say? That's so funny.
This game looks good.
I think that-
this game looks really good. And I'm not meant to look. This is a good-looking game, Kurt. Talk to us about this before we go, because this is like, the gameplay footage is here. It looks really good. That's the
So
first time I've seen it.
so here's the thing. So just not to like promote me or nothing, but I take pride in, I'm the console guy. Like I do nothing but console gaming. I don't really game on PC unless it's a game I really, really love. So I do my best to try to pay attention to all three of the big boys. And that trailer for Kirby, I was super interested in it when they first revealed it in September.
Yeah.
And if we want to tie this to PlayStation and Xbox for a second, they revealed this game in September, and now they're like, it's coming out in March. And I totally believe that with Nintendo. Because they've done that before. They announced like Paper Mario Origami King like 2 weeks before it came out or something. I'm like, what? And I have like a buddy that says it's because they don't announce their games until their devs say like, oh yeah, it's within the next year. And I don't know if that's true, but that'd be awesome if it was. And maybe that's the case. I don't know, but Kirby looks awesome. It's the first Kirby game I've played in many, many years.
It's the most Kirby.
It's a cute month too, because it goes with Tunic for Xbox and Kirby for Nintendo.
Yeah, when's Tunic coming out?
March 16th.
That's not a big game. Okay, yeah.
So Kirby comes out, or Tunic comes out on my birthday, and Kirby
March
comes out on my
16th?
dad's birthday. So it's kind of funny.
So March 16th is your birthday.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll remember that.
There you go, internet.
Now you can dox him. Samurai Kiwi.
But I forgot the original point of this. Other than the Kirby game looks fun to me. It's good co-op, but there was a point before this, but just this filler talk. Yeah. That's what I was gonna say. You guys were saying a big game every month. I think that was every quarter.
Every
like
quarter
maybe a big game on
achievable.
No,
like
their stated strategy
party-wise.
is so different. Yeah, no, they're different strategies. There's been talk that they want something first party every quarter or whatever, but I don't think it was Microsoft that said that.
He said
Microsoft did say
Phil said
a big game every
AAA
month.
first party every quarter.
That's
is what he said last year.
Different quote though.
How can they do that when Halo's not even AAA apparently?
Yes!
Dealer does that stuff, I have to pay attention. Someone apparently Halo is in AAA. They're not realizing what AAA actually means. But that was funny, wasn't it, T?
Yeah, it was a good one.
Moby, thank you so much for the $5 super chat. He goes, the delay will help Microsoft crush it for the holidays. I do believe Microsoft will grab something good to replace it. Everybody hit that like button. Thank you so much, Mo. Again, you're right. It's the same way PlayStation's going to crush it this year because all their games are delayed games from the yesteryear. So in that way, it makes sense. It does. Hockey Chatty, thank you so much for the $5 super chat. Xbox fans, we need to demand Elden Ring and Ubisoft Plus and Game Pass to compensate for lackluster beginning of the year. I think Dying Light 2 is a good example there, Colt, of a good game. It has co-op. It fits into the Game Pass model really well.
Nobody's got
Xbox has been
500
marketing
hours,
with them.
Gaz.
Oh my gosh.
It's true. I don't have 500 hours, so I don't mind.
Xbox has been marketing with Dying Light 2 since 2018, I think. So they've got to be talking to them about something.
Yeah, Xbox are quite aggressive. They're doing that there. Ubisoft Plus and Game Pass, I think it's just like, yeah. But if it happens, it happens. RG Viper X, thank you so much for being a member for, I can't see how many months, but thank you so much. Because Stalker is using Unreal Engine 5. Unreal Engine 5 is not completely ready for a full release yet. Maybe pointing to the reason why it got delayed. Although I haven't heard any express confirmation to that fact. But it sure as hell looks great, and that's because Unreal Engine 5 is dank. If you haven't played the Matrix demo, do it now and have your mind blown, and join me on this side of cross-gen sucks. Space Doverkin, thank you so much for the $5 super chat. I think we tend to forget that Unreal Engine 5 is so RG Viper X, you got a friend. It's so fresh that it might play a big factor on early adopters and their games. Unreal Engine 5 games have big expectations, also doubling down on RG Viper X's point, and they do have big expectations. It's next gen only, but I mean, ultimately, Stalker would have been the first Unreal Engine 5 game to be released, right? I don't think any other game would have beaten it.
No.
Yeah, they were using Unreal 5, I believe.
It's not the first.
Yeah.
You can play an Unreal Engine 5 game right now if you're brave enough. I've just said that in chat. Now,
Matrix.
today, you can go on it.
The Matrix.
No, Matrix isn't a game.
Matrix thing.
I'm going to leave that one open. We'll see who has the answer.
Oh, that's good. I like it.
If you're brave enough.
contract.
Ignore that. That's going
grounded.
to throw you.
Yeah.
I know. I was gonna say. I have a feeling that was like a throw off.
Okay. So it's already out. You're saying. Okay, that's interesting. Fortnite.
Fortnite since season 3. Well done, Alvin. Fortnite since season 3 is running Unreal Engine 5 on your consoles right now.
Why
Current
did
gen,
you
last
say
gen.
brave enough?
It's Fortnite. It has to be something to play it. I don't know.
Oh wow!
You have to be
that might
brave
explain
enough.
why it looks so good. Did you see the new season of that? They do like environmental effects better than Battlefield did with the.
Yeah, I saw
hurricanes and
that.
Tornado. They look good. Like
Yeah.
I'm not a Fortnite player, but
Fortnite looks better than Battlefield.
oh,
No,
damn. So-
no, that
You said that.
game is
Make
so
it-
neat looking. I don't play. I've played Fortnite with my kids a few times, and just kind of blows me away how impressive and how cool that game is. I don't play it though, but it's popular for a reason. So
Yeah, Fortnite
it does
is a
some
great
incredible
game, by the
stuff.
way.
They have these web shooters. If you can pick up an upgrade in the world from a chest, and you can shoot,
really?
swing around like Spider-Man, and get around the world. It's just I don't know.
The
You can see why that
game
game's so.
Before Unreal Engine 5 seemed to be very, I think the old Unreal Engine 4, I guess, but the game engine, whatever it was built on, seemed to be really flexible, and I'm really amazed. God of Gears of War characters in Fortnite. I didn't even know that.
Yeah. And Doom guy is coming from Doom and Doom Eternal soon, and
Boy, what's not going to be in Fortnite?
well, apparently Xbox and Bethesda, there's a rumor that they want to get a couple of their mainstay characters into Fortnite, like either Fallout guy,
I tell you who's not in
Fallout
there.
Boy.
Who's not going to be in
Senua.
Go
Fortnite?
ahead.
The only character that's not going to be in Fortnite is Levi Ackerman, who for some reason is in Call of Duty. If anyone's familiar, I know you are, Kibbergy.
Good job. Good job. He's
I have
right.
no
He's
idea
right.
what that is.
I mean, but
Yeah, look at that.
but you see Naruto peeps in
Amazing.
there, which is still blows my mind. That's ridiculous.
Yeah, there's that looks so good, that cell shaded character in Fortnite. Like, yeah, that's crazy.
Whenever
We don't wanna
anybody
talk
comes
about
to
on the
Fortnite,
show.
you just need to recognize, oh, this person holding an AK-47. That's it. Anyways, yeah, Fortnite show.
Okay.
Yeah, don't let people make fun of it. Just say, hey, that's kind of cool, and move on. Yeah, it's pretty impressive what they're doing. Imagine being like one of the most popular games in the world. Another one is Roblox, which my kid plays all the time. It's like one of the highest money-making games in the world right now is Roblox, one of them.
That's insane.
And everyone's like, bangers, but where's the bangers?
It's
The
like
world doesn't
everyone's
care.
like- yeah, it's like worth like 50 billion or something stupid. I don't know how
Yeah.
that makes any sense. But Fortnite, I will rate it. You see, if you're paying for, I've paid a lot for Halo, for Infinite like character stuff, even though they're rubbish in comparison to Fortnite. Absolutely rubbish. The cosmetics, the pricing, the AI that you have to pay for, the colors you pay like 20 quid for color packs with like some stickers and some nonsense. Absolute dog shit. It's rubbish on Halo compared to Fortnite. That's like pay 20 quid for a skin, but look how good they look. So Microsoft just fixed up, although season 1 is always rubbish in these kind of games anyway, and Fortnite was the same because I paid for some crap stuff in season 1 of Fortnite. But yeah, hopefully Halo fixes that up. Blue Boy Voice, thank you so much for the £5 super chat. If Ubisoft Plus came to Game Pass in Q4, do you think Microsoft will unveil a higher fee family plan for Game Pass to make the higher price of Ubisoft Plus work? We talked about this last week. Colt, I didn't get a chance to talk about this with you. It was Fonz I was talking to about this. Fonz and King David. And King David actually made a great point about this as well. But do you really think, like, because Ubisoft Plus would be huge, mega, unless it was one of their other less premium service. What's that called, Asa? It's just Ubisoft.
They don't
Uplay.
have one. Yeah, Uplay don't
they-
have that. EA do have an equivalent. EA Play is a lower tier.
Yeah.
Okay, so
It's like you get Madden the year later. You get, last year's Madden in EA Play. So you're asking me ask me again, like,
So what? Do you
how
think
big
Ubisoft
would this
Plus-
be? Or
I mean, do you think that's actually viable? Ubisoft Plus, really?
yes,
Do you know?
yeah. And thanks to Dealer, I had Dealer on my show on Monday, and he breaks it down so well. He's like, Xbox has so much leverage. They can strike a deal with profit margins, with different deals. Any game that Ubisoft puts on the Xbox platform, Xbox can say, get Ubisoft Plus into Game Pass, and we'll cut the profit percentage out of I'm probably not saying that correctly, but they charge like what, 30% or something to put a game into Xbox. They could cut that in half or cut it down to offset. Like every game that you sell that's a Ubisoft game on the Xbox will take less profit to give more to you to offset bringing this service into Game Pass, because Xbox has all of this wiggle room to make this deal possible without turning around and doing what Netflix did today and is increasing the price of Game Pass, because Game Pass is only 2 or 3 years old, and Xbox probably doesn't want to even think about raising the price until they get like a 5-year attach rate with everybody, and they've built up this service. So you could bring a it's like $15 a month, but if you pay for the year, so you can bring in a $10 plus $10 extra per month service into Game Pass and almost eliminate that cost to the consumer by working around it with deals. And this is like where we were talking to Fonz, where he just doesn't think don't do it because it's going to raise the price of Game Pass. But if Xbox really wants to, they're probably talking to him about leveraging deals to make it work. And you're looking at Ubisoft bringing 1 to 2 big games a year into that service that are brand new, at least. Plus the back catalog. They have a couple hundred games that are in Ubisoft Plus, like all their stuff, which if you didn't play Assassin's Creed Valhalla, if you signed up to Ubisoft Plus, you get the game plus all DLC and all future DLC. It's the ultimate edition of their games.
That would be mad. That's the only way.
It would be a absolute like just a hammer down for. Yeah, hammer of dankness.
What other? Thank you so much, Faisal. Good to see you. Thank you so much for the £4.49 super chat. What other potential third-party bangers coming to Xbox publishing? Third-party banger games that Xbox publishing might have to fill the gaps. What are they? We talked about Dying Light 2. We said, what was the other game?
So is he just asking like third-party games coming to Xbox around the time? Maybe.
Yeah, they can fill in the space in the first
Elden Ring.
Elden
but
Ring's the one. Yeah,
that's next month. I'm trying to remember too.
What third party stuff? There's not that much,
right?
I can't think of anything either. I don't know. Well,
that's interesting. Yeah, all I can think of is
Replaced is a really good game, but I don't think that's going to make big waves. But one of my something we talked about Dying Light 2. So Dying Light 2 is a really impressive looking game. It's coming out February 4th, I think. But a couple of things. So they announced that they won't feature crossplay, which sucks, and cross-gen is not available at launch. So that's kind of. You meant on Game Pass, Faisal? I'm not sure. There'll be a lot of guesswork. Dying Light 2 is going to be an incredible game. That might actually make its way on Game Pass, Faisal. I wouldn't be surprised, actually, because there were some rumors when they called. You, I think, speculated about this. Do you think there's a chance that might actually come back and you might get some redemption on this?
About it being exclusive or coming to Game Pass?
Well, would Game Pass give you some redemption?
It would. I mean, that was not a fun month or whatever, because I had heard that they were either striking a deal to help develop it or buy the studio or something. But it would kind of help, I guess. But that was one of those. Every once in a while, you hear something that just wasn't right. Yeah, that's just how it happens.
That's right. That's why we throw you under the bus, because we haven't the balls to say this stuff. Christopher Kajets, thank you so much for the $2 super chat. Tina Wonderlands in March.
Tiny Tina.
Sorry.
The Borderlands
Tiny Tina.
That's a shout out.
Yeah.
That's a shout out.
Yeah.
Does he mean, is he supering that for Game Pass?
For Game Pass in March. Yeah.
I could picture that. Something about that. I could picture that, but
4-player co-op online, right?
Yeah.
And a game that is likely to struggle off its own back.
There's been a trend between Outriders, Back for Blood, Extraction. Oh yeah, so that's actually a good point.
I hope this game's good. I really love Borderlands 1 and 2 and the pre-sequel with all of my heart, but Borderlands 3 just didn't love it. I liked it, but I didn't love it. So I want this one to be really great.
Yeah, no, I think this one looks really nice. I was going to say I'm not really a big fan of it, but this looks pretty damn.
If you've played Tiny Tina's Dragon Keep expansion from Borderlands 2, it's absolutely phenomenal. And if this is them trying to cash in on how great that was, I'm pretty sure that we would enjoy it quite a bit. It's basically like Skyrim with
Game Pass.
That's so. Remember the old Skyrim with guns meme back when Far Cry came out? Remember that, Tony?
Yes.
IGN or GameStop said it's that Far Cry 3 was Skyrim with guns because it was like a big RPG style action adventure game. But yeah, literally the Tiny Tina's Dragon's Keep was 2 or 3, maybe 3 years off of Skyrim as release, and it had like the wizards and warriors and stuff, but most of your characters all had, you know, weapon like guns and stuff. So
really good.
Yeah, this could be really, really fun because it has a lot of the tropes that we make fun of in World of Warcraft and you know, fantasy games, and it has a lot of fun with that. So
it's like a spin-off. It's like standalone. I don't have to buy any. Borderlands game.
Yes, it's standalone. You don't have to own Borderlands 3. I'm pretty sure it's just built on the same engine and reskinned.
This game looks amazing. What the hell?
And it's going to be beautiful. It's just a really pretty looking game. The gunplay is really great in Borderlands 3. And I'll just say, since I usually don't bash on games for longer than a second, but the only thing wrong, the big thing that was wrong with 3 was the main villains were just super annoying. You just almost want to turn off the sound. They're just not fun. Handsome Jack was incredible. I just couldn't stand them. So this could be really, really fun.
Yeah. Well, shout out to Christopher for mentioning that. That's changed my mind. I'll get it. And we can make some.
I'll get it, and we'll play it in game share.
No, I'll get it because you've bought too many games. RG Viper X, thank you so much for the $5 super chat. How many next gen only PS5 games are coming this year versus Xbox Series next gen games only? RG Viper, there are no next gen only PS5 games as far as I know. 0.
I've been running through my head. I can't think of any. Like the only one that comes to my mind is Stalker 2 between both, but
yeah.
I might be
wait. You have to repeat that. There's no next gen only PS5 games? Is that what you said?
Yeah.
I was kind of looking through that. Of course, we know the big ones. I think the big ones are too far out to even have a release date. Obviously, like Forspoken is only on PS5, isn't it? Yeah. So that's one, and of course, then you have another Final Fantasy game that'll probably only be on PS5. It won't go on PS4, and then you've got the ones that are way out, like the Old Republic. And
it's mentioned Forspoken, Final Fantasy 16, and Ghostwire Tokyo.
Well,
I don't know about
Ghostwire Tokyo. That's cross-gen, I believe.
I'm gonna check right now.
And Final Fantasy 16, I think that is, but that's not confirmed for this year.
It looks like Ghostwire is PlayStation 5 and PC only.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow! I didn't know that.
I didn't either.
Then, yeah. That'd be a Ghostwire and Forspoken for PlayStation.
Man,
and then,
PlayStation's all over the map with this generations thing because their biggest games, like we said earlier, their biggest games, which are Gran Turismo, Horizon Forbidden West, and God of War Ragnarok, are cross-generation.
Yeah.
That's kind of a weird message
next gen.
When you say are smaller games that we're not really making, but are, you know, it's like are I don't know.
Yeah. I gave Microsoft a lot of flack for that last year, and it turned out Starfield is next gen only.
Why? Why did you give them flack for that when Matt Booty said they were committed to support the Xbox One for 1 to 2 years?
I don't care.
And when he said that,
they're committed. I hate that.
When he said that, like they were in the situation where the end of the year was going to be like right now. So it wasn't going to be full 2 years. It was going to be 2 years from when he said it. So you get like 1 full year of the Xbox Series S and X, and then you're all mostly
Next gen.
next
Still
generation.
against that, Cole. I'm still against that. Everybody wants that one launch game that says this is what your console can do.
Yeah.
Of course.
Let alone the first 2
And we
years.
still haven't got that. Yeah, and that's why I didn't like it. I definitely like Xbox actually being upfront. We gave him flack for it because they were upfront. I gave
Well, I
some
think-
props for it, but they were lying.
Asa, the reason why Matt Booty said we're committed to 1 year is because he knew that there are two big games that were coming from first party were absolutely cross generation. It had been that way for a long time. Halo Infinite was always supposed to be an Xbox One release. Always. In fact, it was supposed to come out right at the cross when both of those divided. And then Forza Horizon, it's just built off of Forza Horizon 4. So it was always going to be cross-gen. And so it's almost like that was their excuse. Like, we're committed to supporting the Xbox for an additional, 1 to 2 years, when they knew we're stuck because those games are just cross-generationally built games.
But it turned out maybe they had a foresight though, because they talked about forward compatibility years ago. So I'm more inclined to believe Xbox when they say that in earnest that they wanted to do this, and their action kind of backs up what their words were. You can't say that about PlayStation.
And there are some cross-generation games still coming to Xbox. I don't know. I don't think they're first party, but there's a bunch of exclusives that are coming.
Yeah, third-party ones. I mean,
Yeah,
still,
third-party ones. Yeah.
Look at all the. Listen, all the big games from Avowed. You got Fable. You've got Perfect Dark. You've got the next Elder Scrolls, wherever that comes out. You've got so many different, all next gen only. But that's why, yeah. So yeah, no, RG Viper X. I think Xbox deserves the props. I don't want to hate on PlayStation too much. It wasn't. They will deliver once the transition happens, whenever that is. It will be very interesting, but it's so annoying because for core gamers like us, we just want to see the next big thing. Dean Brown, thank you so much for the £2 super chat. He goes, Vampire Masquerade in May feels like it's Game Pass material. Maybe to just fit the mantra well. Dark CMF, thank you so much for the $5 super chat. Any chance we see Hogwarts Legacy in Game Pass?
I wanted to shout out both these guys because that's not PlayStation exclusive. They just got to announce it, I believe.
Yeah.
They just got to, like a lot of the Capcom stuff. They get to announce a lot of Resident Evil stuff through PlayStation shows. But Vampire Masquerade, that does feel like a Game Pass game, and take that as you will, whatever that feels like to say it's a Game Pass game. But Hogwarts Legacy, that is very possible. I just don't think it will be a day one situation.
Did you change your shirt?
I took off my red thing.
Okay, yeah.
I show my skin during this and like did like a dance and everything. You didn't see it. So you didn't see it. So too bad if you guys weren't paying attention. But yeah, Hogwarts Legacy, that's Warner Brothers, and Back 4 Blood is a Warner Brothers game.
Yeah.
I believe. But other than that, I don't have recollection of Warner Brother games coming day one to Game Pass. But a lot of them do come to it. Between Shadow of War, Shadow of Mordor, the Batman stuff, they eventually do come to it. The DC Mortal Kombat game, I'm forgetting, Injustice. Yeah. So it probably will, just not day and date.
Yeah, maybe. But there's a good shout.
Like another thing that we've yet to talk about.
Oh yeah, I know. Oh shit. Christopher Jetser, thanks so much for the $5 super chat. Because Colin Moriarty was saying on his show that PlayStation has a bunch of money to lock down games and was alluding to the new BioShock being PlayStation exclusive.
Oh God.
Yeah, we've heard that rumor. What was the number, Asa, that PlayStation set aside to money hack games? Like 8 million or something?
$3?
No, it's more than that. I can't remember, but more than that.
I hope
$7.
$7.
I thought it was a number like 8 million or something, or 8 trillion. No, I don't know what it was.
Trillion. But Sony are going to go hard on that, Christopher Jetser. That kind of game could be a good candidate for that. In terms of optics, I think that's really important, like a game like that. Whether or not that will actually be a big money generator for them, I don't know. I love the Bioshock games, but mass appeal, throwing money at their PlayStation don't have the kind of money Microsoft do, so they have to be very tactical the way they spend their money.
BioShock's also having a really difficult time getting everything figured out right now. I heard 2 days ago that they're having a really hard time getting everything in order, which is normal early on in development.
Apparently, it's more than just that. Is it Ken Levine? Maybe I'm getting the name wrong.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, Ken Levine. I didn't know he was still working with it. I love those games.
I think he is, but apparently it's his management style. Apparently, this is the rumor mill, that it's very archaic, and that's causing friction within the team.
But archaic was when the games are so great. No, I'm just kidding. There's a lot of developing studios that have a lot of. They go through so much crud, man. But,
yeah, no, they do. But COVID, it just sounds like an excuse. COVID, but COVID and working remotely is a challenge for a lot of people. If you're old school and you like, team there and you guide them, have
standing over someone's shoulder and working out problems like in the engine is so important. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's going to be a challenge for some people. Maybe his archaic nature is that struggling to reconcile the whole working from home thing. Who knows? But it's again massive pinch of salt. It is just the rumor mill. He has a new studio working on a new game, not Bioshock. I forgot what it was called, but Jason, thanks for letting us know.
He must still be involved with something regarding the new Bioshock. Maybe he has to overwatch what's going on. I don't know.
There's been a little bit of conflating rumors, but.
Yeah. Ken isn't actually doing Bioshock. He's doing Ghost Story Studio. Different studio at 2K is doing Bioshock. Okay. I'll take that.
Yeah, it looks like maybe we were looking at him talking about development issues where he's working and people just like I did. I just attached it to Bioshock.
Yeah, maybe.
That's how things happen.
Yeah. So apparently, the rumors suggesting now that Sony's pulling PlayStation Now retail cards from UK retailers. Retailers? Why did I say that? Retailers. It sounded weird. Retailers. Anyway, this is it. The precursor to Spartacus is coming. This is it. It's coming. Spartacus is coming. This is it. What will it be? How will it work? Will it be that tier system? We don't know. But it's coming. And whether or not it's going to be a threat to Xbox remains to be seen. I don't think I can talk about it much. There's a lot of speculation there. But if you guys have anything to say on Spartacus and whether or not it will even come close to Xbox.
If that poll actually did happen, that's really interesting because that kind of backs people's... Like, yeah, if that is a legit leak, then it's like, oh, that's interesting. Why'd you pull those? But people know PlayStation's got really dope exclusives. If you could play those day and date, just like Game Pass, folks that love PlayStation, they're going to blow up. That's spectacular news. If it's priced the same as Game Pass, that's great news for just gamers, period. I don't know... To answer your question, would that compete with Game Pass? I would say yes, because there's just a lot more of PlayStation consoles out there. As we know, they're not giving up on the PS4. They're selling PS5s like hotcakes.
It's day and date. That's what their Spartacus is, though.
If they don't do that, it won't compete. If they don't do that, it won't compete.
It won't do that.
But it can't be competition.
For clarity, though, in terms of the rumor that went round that UK retailers have been told to put all of their PlayStation Now gift cards or whatever, subscription cards, is definitely true. And Sony did come and address that and say, yes, it's definitely true. Their reasoning that they gave, which we all know is not the reasoning, is that they would rather encourage people to spend on monetary gift cards that they can then spend on PlayStation Now. But the actual story is, yes, PlayStation Now is being pulled. Like, for sure.
Yeah. Yeah.
Interesting.
So PlayStation Now has failed and now we will see what they will do with Spartacus. It has failed. It's failed. It's a failure, a massive failure compared to Xbox. It's failure. It's failed. PlayStation sucks. The company's going downhill. No,
as Gaz is getting a little carried away. When I say PlayStation Now is being pulled, I do mean the name, right? It's still going to be there as part of whatever Spartacus is, but branding-wise, it's being pulled.
Yeah.
Failure. So,
Gosh.
on the opposite side, why it's a failure is because of Xbox Game Pass and Hitman. The trilogy is joining it. That, ladies and gentlemen, is how you define success. Continued success, because big bangers mean big monies and good energy. Hitman Trilogy. I've never played a Hitman game, by the way. It just haven't. It's not that I haven't.
Gaz, you're not alone.
Play them. That's good.
Yeah.
I haven't played much of them. I tried to play the latest one. I got partway through the first mission, and then a shiny object over there.
You magpied. You're like me with your ADHD. Yeah,
It's so good looking, though.
It looks really good. I followed the Hitman back when I was a little embryo of reading PC magazine, and it was a first game, and it looked really interesting. But it's just one of those games I never actually got to play. But my friends always wax lyrical about it. The Hitman game last year was, a lot of publications were saying, like, hey man, nominate this for Game of the Year. It's a really good game. It's not a slouch, and it's coming to Game Pass. I will definitely play that.
The whole pack, like the whole you could buy the expansion, and they've remastered 1, 2, and 3 or whatever. That's what Rand was playing through earlier last year. He said it was so great. He just played it nonstop. So yeah, you get the whole suite in Game Pass.
Yeah.
One person who's not going to be playing that is Asa.
Wrong.
This is not your game.
Of course I'm going to be playing it. You're very wrong. You're missing the all-important detail, Gaz. You can play this whole thing in virtual reality. I'm going to be running around assassinating everything.
You can play this in VR?
Yes.
But not on Xbox technically, but yes.
Not on Xbox, but it's on PC Game Pass. The question for me, and it's a minor question, I don't know whether the Game Pass version will support VR, because there's a couple of games like Myst where on Game Pass you don't get the VR support. So I might have to go onto Steam and get it or whatever else. But yeah, of course I'm going to play it. Stealth is like crap in games, but running around doing it is entirely different.
Yeah.
That... you'll be actually running around with your little treadmill.
Now, Asa, will you still play it if you can't play it in VR?
No, I won't touch it. Okay. I have touched it. I have had a little look. So it's quite a long-running thing that I don't do stealth games, and I decided not that long ago, like a month ago, just to touch that one and see if I am actually, because Gaz accused me of being bad at stealth games, and I was like, no, I'm not bad at them. I just don't like them. And I thought, I'll see how true that is. So I gave it a little go. It maybe turns out I'm quite bad at them, but but no, I'm gonna have it a good go in VR.
Yeah, I mean, this is like, I don't think we some people are like, oh, you talk about Xbox Game Pass so much, but you're saving hundreds. I'm saving hundreds. Everyone in the chat who's got Game Pass, at this point, you have to question, if you don't have Game Pass, you just don't like saving money, or you don't.
And you don't buy games, so
yeah, it's like some people are like, oh, but I like to own my games. Oh, what the hell does that mean, man? Like, just. You play the game, like
good.
I play a game.
Good, but own your games. Like, great. Like, you can subscribe to Game Pass and get 10 to 20% off of those games and own them, or don't subscribe. That's the cool thing about Xbox is none of the games in Game Pass are exclusive behind the paywall of the service. Every game is purchasable on PC or Xbox without ever dipping a toe into Game Pass. So go ahead, and if you want to spend $600 in one calendar year on games that are in Game Pass, you can own them forever. But the first party games, the exclusive games, stay there forever. They never leave.
Yeah, definitely.
Except Forza, I think.
Forza because of the licensing agreements. And I wonder, Tony, if they're now realizing that they have to strike different deals now that games, because you used to buy a game on a disc, and then eventually the disc, it goes underneath the couch or whatever. But now the games are digital. I know that they're probably looking at these agreements for licensing for the cars and music where like, you look, game preservation is important. We can't just strike a deal for 5 years or 3 years or whatever it is. That just doesn't really work in today's modern gaming. So those licensing deals are probably more malleable now, I would hope.
Yeah.
So
Shaq Fu in chat is looking for attention.
yeah. It is funny when you can see a stark difference between the people who are enjoying the hobby and the people who are just really upset, so they whine a lot and gripe and
Yeah, no, but Shaq Fu, you're welcome here. You try and do what you want to do. It's gonna not end well for you. So this is the thing I want to very quickly touch on. I saw some people like really Paris Lily. He likes to do this kind of stuff, but he's just like he was really pushing for it. And a lot of people were pushing for it, and I think I'm in the minority here in supporting this because I have some skepticism here. So Phil Spencer is calling for a cross-platform ban program, so whereby if you get banned for being an idiot on Xbox Live, you're banned on PlayStation, you're banned on Nintendo, you're banned on PC.
no, well, don't say for being an idiot. It's much worse than that, I'm sure.
Yeah, being whatever. But take that point on board. You say it's much worse than that, and I want to get your point on that. So, Colt, what's your take on this cross-platform ban program? You become whatever it is, you be a habitual line stepper, you get banned banned on Xbox, you're banned on everything. I think that's insane, and a lot of people are like, yeah, let's support it. But
well, okay, there's two parts of what he said. The very first part of his statement was strictly about Phil saying, for example, Phil's like, if I'm playing Rainbow Six Siege and I encounter a jerk that is, on the mic and harassing and stalking my account, I should be able to block them on Xbox Live. And then if I go play Fall Guys on PlayStation, that person should not be able to show up in the same game with me and be able to jump over and find me on PlayStation and go, I was going to finish all my insults I was saying at you, like that Shaq Fu guy.
Who does that, though? They follow you to another platform.
Right. Who does that? But you have to remember, like, Phil's talking about, there are people, and they're in the minority, right? There are people who have eyes on them. So somebody like Phil, or somebody who runs a Twitch channel, or somebody who's a YouTuber, or somebody who is a popular writer, whatever, may get more than one person in their entire life that chronically stalks them. So, and when I read what Phil said, I knew exactly what he's talking about. Phil, if you go into any tweet, Phil could say, I just finished The Ascent. It was a great game. Here's my achievement. If you scroll down, you'll see 5 or 6 people saying, PlayStation is better. You suck. When are you going to do this? Like, and yeah, you can grow thick skin, but there are people who chronically stalk, and people who say grow thick skin have not been subjected to chronically being stalked. Like, I'll get a DM once in a while where someone has to go out of their way to make sure that they know that I know that they hate me, right? So
you get that a lot.
The first part of Phil's statement was absolutely laser focused on, if I block WaterEgg32 on Xbox Live for harassing me or being a racist or just being really horrible and ruining a game experience, I should be able to go over to PlayStation or on PC and never encounter them. Now, he also says, like,
fine.
In the industry, that's asking too much. Like, you can't really do it. There's too many barriers, and it's just a logistical nightmare. But then he also added, after that statement about cross-platform banning, which I think is where he took it too far, and that's where people got upset. If somebody is a chronic harasser, they're not likely only doing that to Phil Spencer. And so when we get upset that you can't just ban someone, you don't get banned from Xbox Live for no reason. Like, they do a lot of extensive research. PlayStation does the same thing. So let me finish this long rant and get off my little 2-inch soapbox and just say, if you own a restaurant and some guy comes into your restaurant and goes, with his shirt hanging up, I'm gonna put boogers in everyone's food, like, or just Now, I'm being extreme because that's not as bad as somebody chronically harassing you if you're a female or anyone who's chronically being harassed and being scared off of their platform. So the point I'm trying to make is if you own a restaurant and some guy comes in often and bothers your customers, they'll get up and leave and you'll lose money. So Ubisoft or Xbox Live or PlayStation, they have every right to say, Water Egg 32 chronically harasses people who come to my place to spend money and enjoy my service. If I get Water Egg 32 out of there, he'll no longer scare people off my platform and we can continue to make money.
Water Egg 32, you might exist. So this is not direct.
Water Egg 32 is completely made up by me one day, but yeah, he probably does exist somewhere.
And there's
Water Egg.
porn of him if the rule of the internet is to follow.
Yes!
But yeah, so I agree with that. But a lot of people are like, yeah, let's go for it. But who's policing what is, what counts as? Yes, there's obvious ones: racism, homophobia. There's all that stuff. That's the serious stuff.
Phil can't make it happen either. Let me end that by saying, like, Phil says that, and then he also disclaimers it with, or caveats it with, it's not going to happen. There's too many logistical things. I'm sure Ace is cranking the gears right now, thinking about how many hoops everyone would have to jump through to make a cross-platform ban work, and it doesn't work. So he's just saying, wouldn't it be nice if everyone could just play their games and not have to deal with people like that, and just be able to go to all their different platforms, and that person will never be in their way again.
No,
I think it's
I actually, the cogs don't run for me on that. I know that that's practically not going to happen without everybody giving up their identities and too much personal information, right? So practically it's not going to happen. But even then, ignoring that, it's not a thing that people should be cheering for and endorsing, because you're saying, give this corporation the power to stop me being able to go anywhere and do anything.
Yes.
What's wrong? Why would you cheer for that?
This is what I'm saying. So this is like, so again, Paris is not directed at you, but you were like, oh, why are you not supporting it? And I wanted to say, but I didn't reply because it was just the thread was absolutely toxic, or just people like, Twitter, they just form a human centipede of nonsense. But I just thought, well, what the hell? Exactly what you said. Who's policing this? You're giving a corporation, and Phil Spencer doubled down on it. You know what he said? He goes, we're not a democracy. There's not a freedom speech platform, which kind of points to, well, they'll devise the parameters of what is acceptable and what isn't. What you can say, you can't say. And, then, in this day and age, it's very like, from region to region, from culture to culture, you do not want corporations to be the arbiters and controlling your freedom, and then to branch out to other ones. It's like China, like the social credit system. It's like what they use in propaganda. Well, if you're not guilty, what are you worried about? Well, I don't trust corporations to kind of do that policing. I understand the sentiment behind it, but in reality, it never pans out that way. And there are many cases of injustices in the hands of not just corporations, but people who are the arbiters and the judges in deciding things, and it doesn't work out. So I just wanted to make a point of that. I don't like that. I understand the sentiment, but when people are pushing for that, I just like, use your brain a little bit, think about it. You really have that much faith in these corporations? But we do need more accountability. And NFTs, apparently. I don't want to touch NFTs. It's such a controversial topic. And that's, it's just pretty bad. Gaz is rambling. Shut up, Brisket. You also, sorry, Tony, you actually made a great point that you double back on the Game Pass games.
Yeah.
What were the game? Because we actually got quite a lot. We're so spoiled.
So I was like, I have things to say about this.
I'm so sorry.
No, you're good. But it's all good because that subject I thought was big, but then I just admit I don't have too much to comment off that. But the Hitman 3 thing, because January is a stacked month. If you look at Game Pass here, I mean, if you haven't played these, because here's Mass Effect Legendary Edition. If you didn't experience that last year, it's on Game Pass now. Well, Game Pass Ultimate. Ubisoft just announced their Rainbow Six Extraction launching day one on Game Pass. There's your big Ubisoft title for the month. And then there's the Hitman 3 trilogy, which is kind of the note that we're talking about being here's
What
Hitman
month is
3,
this?
which is another game. Huh? January.
What month is? Yeah, and then you've got Mass Effect Trilogy. Did you say that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mass
Okay,
Effect Trilogy, Rainbow
Yeah.
Six Extraction, and the Hitman Trilogy, which two of
There you
those
go, yeah.
games were games from last year that are in this month now. And it's just a lot. It's just a lot.
Too
and
many games.
it's intimidating. I legitimately, the second I saw Extraction and then they announced Hitman 3, I legitimately like tell my friends, I hate Game Pass. In like a joking way, but I hate it because I feel like there's always this rush. And just because I haven't rambled in a while, but my buddy, just shout out really quick, Outer Wilds. If you have not played this game, it has returned to Game Pass. It's a phenomenal goddamn game.
Really?
It's my all-time
Yeah,
favorite
I
indie
hear.
game, hands down. It is my all-time favorite indie game.
That's
Yeah.
a big shout. The
Undertale, okay,
Oh,
Undertale is my most respected. Outer Wilds is my personal favorite. So there you go.
I hear
both
it's
of them are Game
brilliant. I hear nothing but praise.
Pass. It's fantastic.
Really?
But it's
How long is
come
the
back
game?
to Game Pass. So I have like 4 friends of mine that are experiencing it now. And shout out my buddy Michael. He's almost through Outer Wilds. And he's looking, this is going somewhere. He's looking at little guides here and there to try to like fast forward it. And I'm like, man, but it's all about discovery and mystery. And he's like, but I just, like, Pokemon comes out next week. There's this thing and that thing. I just have to keep going to the next game. And that's the thing that's kind of bugging me about Game Pass is that, like,
You
not
have to do the
legitimately.
pressure.
Exactly.
You'll
you have
never
to-
run out of great stuff to play ever.
But it's hard
Is
to
Outer
keep
Wilds
up.
still 30
Yeah, it is.
FPS?
Yeah, on Xbox. Yeah. For some reason, I don't know why they patched that.
They haven't patched it yet.
Yeah.
Yeah,
but
you
it's-
take off on a planet, like, guys, and when you take off, you can see the curvature of the small planet going away from you. I wasn't paying attention to what to do. Like, you have to really get immersed. But
Yeah.
I hear amazing stuff.
Yeah, it's fantastic. But just that point, you know,
So many games.
the buddy just looked up guides because he's trying to keep up with what he wants to play, and that's the dilemma of Game Pass now. Because now you got Mass Effect Trilogy, Hitman 3, or all 3 Hitmans, and Rainbow Six Extraction to play. If you're interested in them, good luck.
And you said Mass Effect Trilogy, right? No, I'm just kidding.
Yes.
You love that. Are you playing
I'm
that
playing it again.
What
Yeah.
you mean? You just finished it. Yes. Oh.
I finished it last year, a full playthrough, did every nook and cranny, and now I started over as female shepherd, and I'm doing, as Randall Thor 19 suggested, all renegade, no exceptions. I'm like, I even have to yell at Liara? I can't do this. It's
I
awesome.
can't wait till I hope Mass Effect, the next one, lives up to it. If you like it, then I know that game has smashed it. Because
Yeah, I mean, I kind of liked Andromeda, but I expect them
Okay,
to,
well, I take back
to
everything
figure
I
out
said.
what's amazing for the next one. Yeah.
this is Outer Wilds that's playing. It's just not.
Yeah.
It looks like No
Yeah.
Man's Sky.
Yeah, kind of.
It's
Tony, you
the
know, I don't know.
Yeah,
I only played it for like a
it's-
half an hour.
It's the definition of a one and done game because it's all about figuring out the mysteries of the universe. Like, I don't know what video is playing on stream right now.
Oh, that's
I get
sick.
very nervous because I'm like, the less you know going in this game, the better. Because it's like it's all about discovery. That's all it is. There's no action. There's no dialogue.
It's very, very linear in the story it tells, but does it give
No.
you some freedom?
It is not linear in the slightest. Linear
But
is the exact
what was the one and
opposite
done
word.
comment?
Well, it's one and done as in.
Oh, once
it's
you
a
get the
mystery.
answers.
Exactly. It's a mystery. So once you figure out the mystery, it's like, well, if you restart it, then you already know how. You can literally beat
Oh,
the
like a
game.
reveal of.
You-
Okay.
You could beat the game in 12 minutes if you know how.
Oh wow.
my gosh.
Okay, that's very interesting. I'm gonna definitely check this out.
But you
At least the
spend,
gameplay
like-
looks cool.
You spend like 15 hours trying to figure out how to beat the game. But once you figure it out, you can do it in like 12 minutes. But it's going to take a long time to figure it out. So,
Cool. Very cool.
Yeah.
There's so much dankness. Yeah. So,
there's Hargy. Sorry. Counterpoint to. I see Hargy in the chat. Counterpoint, too much in Game Pass is that your buddy would have never experienced Outer Wilds. Yes, exactly. He would have never experienced Outer Wilds if it wasn't for Game Pass. That's
yeah.
true.
And Claymud said, look, it's not a problem having too much. You aren't meant to keep up. You can't keep up with Netflix and other streaming services. Yeah, but we're gamers. We're selfish. We want to play everything, sample everything.
That's the
Netflix
problem.
doesn't have everything good.
I'm playing a game right now that I'm not going to mention the game, okay? On purpose. But I'm playing a game right now that I never would have spent a little bit of money to try it. And I'm absolutely hooked. I think it is super amazing, and it was a game that got made fun of big time when it was revealed a couple years ago, for how it looked and how dumb it was or whatever. And it's become something I've played a lot over the past several months. So, and it's something because of Game Pass. Huh?
Can I ask? Is it a multiplayer focused game?
It is, yeah.
I know what it is.
What is it?
Well, it's Knockout City.
Nope.
Damn it!
No.
It's grounded. It's grounded.
It's grounded.
I know. It's grounded. Knockout City's such a good game.
Yeah, we played that together, Gaz.
Yeah.
And Gaz does this evil laugh every time he kills one of us. Do it.
I don't even know which one. I have so many.
Or whatever you do.
But I have so many, which you'll see in the next source video. But ladies and gentlemen, we've gone past the 2-hour limit. I know, man. I think so.
Tony hasn't even taken his shirt all the way off.
We're waiting for it, Tony. Show us the guns. But yeah, look, there's so much going down this week. Jeez, you've been hitting the gym. Your muscles have been big before. Do you even look for veins when you inject?
No.
Yes!
I've
been working out for like 10 years.
That's good, man. That's good. I came back from the gym today, and let's not talk about that. So yeah, thank you so much, everyone in chat. I hope you had a good time. Please smash the like button if you enjoyed it. You're watching Asa running around in VR.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Asa,
how come you're not using your hips? You should be thrusting with your hips.
You can't very well. You're strapped in on that thing.
Yeah, I know. This is crazy.
It's awesome.
what are you
So
doing?
Asa, tell us what's this like behind your eyeballs, like, because we're seeing it in 2D, right?
Yeah,
what's it like?
It's an impossible thing to convey what virtual reality is like on a screen, which is difficult. Like, people think of it as like having screens all around your head or something, and it's not like that.
Oh my gosh,
it's not like that, because you can look everywhere.
How much tension does that running pad have? How much resistance?
It can hold for weight if I take my feet up. It's quite slippy on the feet, so it's a bit different to actually walking, but it's properly funny. And this game that I'm playing is ridiculously funny as well, which I'll leave them playing for a minute because it just gets silly.
What are you doing? You're trying to
I'm trying to kill him with an arrow.
Gaz would be doing something totally different right there.
Yeah. What are you doing?
It won't let me, so...
Just end up punching him now.
Yeah.
Oh my god, he's getting proper bloody. He's so violent.
Yeah. This game's madness.
Get on your knees!
He's punching his groin. You're a violent man. What the hell?
He was
so
dead
much
like a
worse.
minute ago. He was dead a minute ago.
He's holding his corpse up by his hair.
Did you see what he just did? He punched him. He looked around like, I wonder where I'm supposed to go next.
Get the guy with the dead guy.
Just
Yes!
You're just smashing the heads.
I'm gonna tell my kids this is Elder Scrolls 6.
Oh, if Elder Scrolls had combat like this, it would be amazing.
Fun, man.
Oh my gosh.
You're going to jail for this.
He's got both.
Oh no, it gets worse. It gets worse. Just keep watching. So this one gets stuck on the sword.
Stab his groin. You are a messed up man.
Oh my goodness.
Sorry if you're watching the audio version of this.
Yeah, audio listeners, basically we're watching Asa go on a killing spree, but in VR.
Yeah.
Very authentically.
Oh my gosh,
Audio
this is
listeners.
nuts.
You need to
Yeah,
subscribe
and
to
it's
it.
so
That's
different.
so
So like, it's
cool.
not screens all around your head because you're there. It's near. It's far.
Have
and
you
if there's a
streamed
table,
this
you can
on
avoid
Twitch?
it. Yeah, I stream it all the time, and I will be streaming this all the
my
time. So
gosh.
if anyone wants to see such silliness live, this what you're seeing right now was a live stream.
I should just put up your link to your Twitch.
Thank you.
You see Ace just running, going, eh. Actually, seeing you doing the stabby motion is hilarious, man.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
And
Paul says looks like Ace has some elephants, or Darth says it looks like he has some skeletons in his closet. Oh my
Brisket
gosh.
Biscuit did a super chat. They're saying what I'm saying, watch Ace's Twitch. It's a good time. There you go.
It
Yes.
is,
Oh my
yeah.
gosh.
This is your calling, Asa. This is like selling VR headsets. We need to be sponsored by a VR company because this looks amazing. Yeah. See, look, this is why I like VR, Colt. Can you imagine if we were to run around doing this and you're in the world, like doing high fives or just?
Yeah.
That's the future, man. It's just.
This is going to be our fix for not being able to meet at E3. We'll just play this game together and grab each other's hair.
Yeah.
Grab each other's hair. That sounds so wrong.
Oh
That
my!
meme you made with me and you on Colt's on dealer's sofa.
I've made so many memes.
Right, that's enough.
So
of that.
tell
Yeah.
us, do you get you work up a little sweat doing this?
Yeah,
Must
so that
do.
I've got rid of it now, but that was my heart rate at the bottom as well. Like I have a heart rate when it's wrong,
okay.
so you can see how hard the work is.
Cool.
Oh,
That's so
wicked.
funny.
That is a lot of fun, man. Well, hopefully, I want to try that. I'm gonna come around to yours.
Just when you thought the show was over, Asa brings in his VR fetish.
Fetish is the right word there, ladies and gentlemen. And on
That's
that
amazing.
note, thank you so much for joining us. Before we go, we had such a good show. Just easy chat. It's so good to have these kind of shows. Samurai Kibiji, how are you? I hope you had a good time. So I love your content. And I saw your Bleach stuff, but this is not an anime show. We'll talk about that after in the green room. But I hope you had a good time. And tell people who don't know who you are. You're such. By the way, if you saw the Power On Xbox documentary thing, Samurai Kibiji was in it because his reaction to the Xbox Series X reveal was there. It's how I met him. Or not met him. I know of you, Tony, through that video. I typed in Xbox reactions. Yours was amazing. I laughed. I genuinely laughed. Usually they suck ass, but yours don't. So yeah, shout out to Samurai Kibiji. Do check it out. Isla's linked it in the chat. So hope Tony had a good time.
Yeah. I super did. It was Gaz, you're one of the funnest hosts I know, and it's great to hang out with you and Asa always, and I got to speak with Colt, so it's great. And chat, you guys as well. Just I really appreciate you. And my message to you is just love what you love. That's why I do what I do. I love to geek out about stuff I love, and you should too. So that's my message to you going into 2022.
Exactly, man. Enjoy what you do, definitely. No, we definitely do, as you can tell. Last but certainly not least, Colt, we will meet this year. Don't say that. And we can pull each other's hair if we want in a friendly way. Oh, that sounds weird. Christine's the one. Anyway, what are you...
I just keep thinking about the meme I made of us as Frodo and Samwise. And you got like the poofy hair of Samwise. And you're like, I think of it.
That meme. And you can do that. My hair is a mess right now.
At least you have hair.
But Cole, it's always a pleasure having you on, man. I hope you had a great time, man. And what's in store? I always have a great time. It's like talking to you as one of my best friends. But I hope you had a good time. Tell the people what's in store, other than unattainable, high-level quality YouTube videos that you seem to shit out that take normal human beings 60 years to do the equivalent of. Tony understands.
Yeah,
Tony understands.
100%. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what's in store. I don't really have anything planned for the week yet, but I don't know. There's just I don't know. We'll see what happens. It's just we didn't talk about Redfall. Like, there's this possibility Redfall might get delayed a little bit, but I don't know. That's the latest thing. Maddie and Cognito talked about it on their show. I had heard about it before they talked about it, so it's just one of those things that maybe they need a little more time. Hopefully, it makes it by this year. Who knows? But I don't know. I would like to kind of highlight some of these big games coming to Xbox on standalone videos on my channel. So I've been thinking about that. But you can find me at Cold Eastwood on YouTube and Cold Eastwood on Instagram, where I need to post again, and on Twitter, where people love to hate.
Yes, they do. Yes, they
Yeah,
do. Twitter's not
and
real.
I have a very similar message to Keebs. You know, that is, yeah, do love what you love and be nice. I mean, these are just video games, and stop treating people like they're your mortal enemies because they wear green and you wear blue, or vice versa. So, yeah, it's all right. But Clay Mudd says I have depression, not doing YouTube content. No, I have writer's block. Yeah, sometimes news piece come up and I'll do a tweet and I'm like, I don't know if I have enough to build a big video. I want my videos to be like big moments, like where we have big stuff to talk about. Some stuff can be talked about in like 1 or 2 minutes, and I don't really feel like making content on those things. I want people to get like a whole experience of all the information we can gather together. So yeah, it just takes time sometimes.
I feel you. Yeah, especially your stuff. Yeah, I don't know how you do it, but respect for that. Respect for that. And like PBG and Colt said, enjoy what you do. But if you do want to get into the toxic side of things of the console wars, I'm here for you. The source is coming. Eat that, Paris Lily. Asa, before we say goodbye to our fans, what's in store for people like you? Because I think that VR stuff is hilarious. You need to do that. Just do that, man. No one cares about Lawnmower Simulator or whatever the hell you were playing the other day.
Yeah, loads more of that. Loads more of that. My Twitch channel is going to have. I mean, that treadmill's not cheap, so I'm going to make a lot of use of it, right, and a lot of content. And that's actually, that Blade and Sorcery is the only thing that I've played so far, but I've got so much planned for it. Borderlands 2
Nice.
VR is the whole game, Skyrim, Fallout, Half-Life Alyx. And plenty more of this game because it never stops being funny. So go to my Twitch channel, go to my YouTube channel, all of that content will be around. And of course, we are building up for a massive year with GameOnDaily as a platform.
We definitely are. We definitely are. It's been development hell, we can attest, COVID, whatever, the developers. But this year, we have to smash it out. This year, we have to smash out more videos. We just have to. And your support means the world. It really does. It makes a difference. Really does. Thank you so much for watching. If you're listening on Spotify after the fact, apologies if you were just laughing for the latter half of it at the end. We were just watching Ace's stuff. You have to watch his Twitch stuff and watch it after the fact. Thank you so much. Do try and support us if you can, if you want to. If you enjoyed the show, liked it. As for the Halo story video that I did, I can say that unanimously everyone loved it. It's the most liked video ever. Not a single person worth their salt disagreed.
What is the like ratio on that video, buddy?
Don't need to worry about the like ratio on that. All I can say is very what's higher than crap game, and that's all I can say. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much. Please,
Yes! I just got that.
And the source, yeah, you just got it. And the source video is coming. And we're going to do more source videos. I promised it, but I'm working on 2 right now. So thank you so much. Please subscribe. Check out GameOnDaily.com. It's sexy. It is. Just look at it. And I'll see you very, very soon. Take care. Peace out from everyone.
Bye, buddy.